Are you tired of the same old bar charts? Want to make your Tableau dashboards more dynamic and insightful? In this new series, I will teach you how to create amazing custom charts that will impress your audience and clients. Today, we are starting with Sankey Diagram, a powerful visualization that shows the flow of data between two categories. By the end of this video, you will be able to create a professional Sankey chart in Tableau step by step. Let's dive in. If you are excited for this series, hit the like button and subscribe to stay updated. Sankey diagram is used to visualize the flow of values between two or more categories. Each category is represented by a node and the connecting paths show the volume or movement between them. The node where the flow originates is the source node and where the flow ends is the target node. The source and target nodes are often represented as rectangles or circles. The flow itself is represented by a curved path called the link. The width of the flow or link is proportional to the amount or quantity of the flow. These diagrams are particularly effective for illustrating distribution of material, cost, or energy flow. The dataset used for creating the Sankey diagram is the famous sample superstore dataset. To start with the chart in Tableau, let us drag the orders table to the right side space. Now, we will create union of orders table with itself. This is required because we need one copy of the data to populate region nodes on the left side and another copy to populate segment nodes on the right side of the chart. Now let us go to the worksheet. To create a Sankey diagram, we need to transform our data. We will use data densification and Bezier curves to generate smooth flows. We have to create a few calculated fields for creating this visualization. In order to create data densification or padding, we will create a calculated field to_pad. So let us create the calculated field first. Here we are creating value 1 for the first copy of orders table and value 49 for the second copy of orders table. We will populate region nodes from the first copy and segment nodes from the second copy. The number 49 is chosen arbitrarily to draw the curves of the chart smoothly. In our last step, from the calculated field to_pad, we have created two values, 1 and 49, but there is no value in between. So we will need to create a bin in order to fill the gap. Let us create the bin and give it a name, padding. We will mention the bin size as 1. Let us click OK. Now let us create a new calculated field, index. This calculated field is to make sure the Sankey mark can be spread out across the view. This is the formula. You will notice it is a table calculation. We don't have to do any configuration now. We will configure the calculation dimension later. Now let us create two identical calculated fields, rank 1 and rank 2. Let us create the first calculated field and name it as rank 1. This computes the running sum of the measure we want to use. In our case, it is sales. So running sum of the sales divided by total sum of the sales. Again, we don't need to worry about the default table calculation setting. These calculations will tell Tableau about the start and end of the Sankey chart. Now let us duplicate the calculated field and rename it as rank 2. Next step is to use a sigmoid function to help draw the curves between the nodes. Sigmoid function is a mathematical function that generates S-shaped curves. Since Tableau doesn't have a built-in sigmoid function, let us create a calculated field to create the sigmoid curve. This calculated field will inform Tableau on how to draw the curve of the Sankey chart. Now, let us use all of the calculated fields we have created in the previous steps. This time, we are calling this calculated field curve. This calculated field will be used to actually generate the curves of our visualization. Now that we have finally created all the required calculated fields, let us finally start building our Sankey diagram. Whenever we need to create Sankey charts, we can reuse these calculated fields. Now, on the sheet, drag the calculated field index into the columns. Now let us drag the padding into the details cell, and then let us change the mark type into circle. Now let us configure the index field to compute based on the padding. Right click on index and edit calculation, and then choose specific dimension and check padding. After changing the configuration of the calculation, you should be able to see 49 marks instead of the 1. Now drag the field curve into the rows. Currently it does not make any sense, but it will slowly become a Sankey as soon as we add all those calculations. Configuration of this curve table calculation is the most crucial part in the Sankey charts. In our case, as we are using region and segment, we will drag those two dimensions into the details cell. And now let us configure them. This part is really important as this will affect how the Sankey look. Right click on the curve field and edit table calculation. Under the nested calculations, from the drop down, let us select rank 1 and let us choose specific dimensions. We will select region, segment and padding. The order for rank 1 should be region, then segment and last padding. This order has to be maintained, otherwise we won't be able to generate the Sankey. We have region at the top because region is at the left side of the Sankey chart and rank 1 calculation corresponds from region to segment. Next, from the nested calculation drop down, select rank 2. Select all specific dimensions and now place segment at the top followed by region and padding, because for rank 2 calculation corresponds from segment to region. Now let us sort the region field in descending order based upon the field sales. Let us do the same thing for segment as well. Now the Sankey diagram has started taking shape. Let us edit the index axis. Right click on index, edit axis, custom, fixed start, let us make it as -5 and fixed end, let us make it as 5. Okay. Right click the curve axis, edit axis, custom, fixed start would be 0, fixed end would be 1, scale, let us put it as reverse. Okay, let us hide these axes. Let us do it for index as well. Go to the marks card, from circle, let us make it as line. Let us drag padding to the path and region to the colors. Now let us create a new calculated field, curve sizing. This calculated field determines the width of the curves in the Sankey. So window average, sum of sales. Let us drag it to the size. Click on the edit table option. Compute using padding. Okay, let us increase the size a bit so that it looks better. Let me rename this sheet as Sankey. Now that we have got the curves, let us create the nodes. So first we will start with the source node, that is region. Let us create a new worksheet. Let me drag region to the detail and sales to the rows. In the quick table calculation, let us make it as % of total. Let us drag the region to the colors. Let us sort it in descending order. I will edit the axis. I will make it custom from 0 to 1 so that we can have the whole bar chart from top to bottom. Let us click OK. Now let me drag the region to the label. Let me drag sales to the label as well. I will format the sales value. I will convert it into millions. Let me resize this. Okay, I will edit the color palette. This looks better now. Let me hide the header. I will rename this sheet as region. So now we will duplicate this sheet to create the segment node. I'm editing this in shelf because I don't want the formatting to go away. If you drag and drop, it will lose the formatting which we have already done. So let me just change the color palette. I will rename this sheet as segment. Now that we have our nodes and curves ready, let us combine them and create our Sankey chart. For that, I'm going to create a new dashboard. Let me drag and drop all the 3 worksheets into the dashboard. Now let us arrange them so that we have a beautiful Sankey chart. I will increase the width of the dashboard. Let me remove this container. I will hide the titles. Now let me arrange the worksheets so that they align properly. Let me reduce the width of the region. Let me reduce the width of the segment as well so that it aligns with the region. So this looks better now. Let me give it a title. Let me change the font. I will change the color of font as well. Let me align it. Now let me change the padding of the worksheets because we can see some white spaces between the worksheets. Let me click on the region. I will go to the layout. In padding, let me make it as 0. Let me do it for Sankey chart as well. And the same for segment. Now we can see the 3 charts have aligned properly. Now let me give a highlight action to this. I will go to the dashboard. Click on actions. I will add a new action, highlight. In the source sheet, I will select region and segment. Action would be hover and the target sheets would be the same dashboard, and I will select only Sankey and I will keep all fields as such. Let me click OK. I will click OK again. Now if you can see, the Sankey chart is getting highlighted. So this shows the flow from one category to the other. So that's it. We have built our first custom Sankey chart in Tableau. So what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more Tableau tutorials. Check out episode 2 where we create a radar chart in Tableau. In case you need the worksheet, just drop a comment. I will share the worksheet with you. Thank you everyone for watching.